Hey guys, I am once again back for more videos, and my podcast for today will be about the UEFA Champions League round of 16. Now that the round of 16 is done, we now go to the Elite 8 where the most teams in Europe now are shrinking and are getting stronger for that prestigious UEFA Champions League trophy that will be held in Paris this June. Guys, look, thank you again once again for all of your support. I couldn't do this without you guys for all the support since the last two videos I've uploaded. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna be posting a link. Just click on it for the full video. Hopefully you like it, and hopefully you'll stay with me until the last minute. Here we go, guys. Round of 16 is done. Elite 8 is about to begin. Let's start with Bayern versus Salzburg. This has been a good one. I really didn't think that Salzburg will be close on this one, but yep, the Bayern, they're the giants in European football, and they just dominated Salzburg into a whole new level. Barcelona nightmares, man. We've been all there. We've been through that. Bayern on the second leg won 7-1, which they trashed Salzburg on aggregate to 8-2. I know Barcelona fans, you're watching, and sorry, but 8-2 really has a significant nightmare for you guys. That's a number you will never forget in the history of the Champions League and football. My very own Liverpool lost against Inter, but we won on aggregate. Heating up. We're heating up again. Man City draw with Sporting Lisbon, but the aggregate is 5-0. 5-0 in favor of the Premier League champions. Real Madrid versus PSG. This has to sting. Real Madrid won 3-1 and an aggregate 3-2. Remember the last leg, PSG won a last-minute goal by Kylian Mbappe 0-1, but Karim Benzema. Later we'll discuss more about that. Ajax Benfica. Ajax drew with Benfica the first leg, but this time around a late goal by Darwin Nunez, a rising prospect from Uruguay, is making a name for himself as he delivers the blow against Ajax, which delivered a 2-3 on aggregate in favor of the Portuguese side. This shocked me, to be honest, because Ajax has been on a roll lately, and really they deserve more, but Benfica just turned their dreams into a disastrous end in the Champions League. Speaking of disaster, has to be the most disaster fixture and result in this fixture. In the round of 16, Man United losing against Atletico Madrid 0-1. We'll discuss more about that because it has been a really, really tough moment for all of Man United fans and for the Man United players. They lost 1-2 on aggregate. Juve Villarreal, also very disappointing end for Juve season. They've been knocked out 3 straight times in the round of 16 when Ronaldo was still playing for them. They lost 0-3 against Villarreal, 1-4 on aggregate. Villarreal, the Yellow Submarines, coming through in clutch. Lille and Chelsea. Chelsea winning it 1-2 on aggregate, 1-4. Yes, Chelsea has been on a different situation right now. The UK sanctions government, because they have been, and the ownership has been held by Roman Abramovich, and it has been a very, very rough season for Chelsea. Not on the game, the fixture side, but aside from that, it's beyond football. The war, Ukraine, Russia, because Putin has strong connections with Roman Abramovich. That's why Chelsea have been struggling to find funds for their teams, players, and even could not get a cash for their fuel, for their gas. Hopefully this will turn out to be a great ending for them. And there are players that they cannot sign. I don't know. There are players who's gonna leave. Hopefully it won't happen because they are also loyal to Chelsea Football Club. Now let's go to the news where all of the headlines had in the UEFA Champions League round of 16. Remember, 16 teams. It all started at 64. It all ended playoff fixture, and it trimmed down to 32. At the beginning it was 32, yes, 32, and then it trimmed down to the round of 16. It went down. Now it will be going down in the Elite 8, at the Sweet 4, and then the final two mighty giants in Europe. And that's still a long way to go. So have fun, y'all. But now let's begin our headlines. The news in the UEFA Champions League. Bayern Salzburg. The first leg was a kind of difficult start for FC Bayern, but a late goal by Coleman sealed them a 1-1. But at the second leg, I just didn't know what happened to Salzburg. Maybe they woke up a sleeping giant. We know Bayern is a strong football club in Europe. Obviously, when you have Robert Lewandowski, Thomas Muller, Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, it's really hard to contain those attacks. And the defense, and speaking of defense, Manuel Neuer is also back for Bayern, a GOAT keeper. Salzburg tried their best but failed to cling on and held the giant into a losing end as they says goodbye to the round of 16 in the Champions League. What about this one? Robert Lewandowski's future. Of course, Bayern has been dominating teams in Europe, but with the help of Robert Lewandowski, of course. What if Robert Lewandowski's final season is about to end this season? He still has 1 year left in his contract, but who knows? There are several clubs aiming for the prolific marksman. Some teams are PSG, Manchester United, Manchester City, and even Real Madrid. I don't know what's going to happen next for Robert, but I'm pretty sure he still has a lot to offer. And especially he's, for me, in my opinion, the 2020 Ballon d'Or, which did not go well because of COVID. Last season in 2021, I just think that Messi edged him a bit. It's because Messi just carried Barcelona all the way that year. So, but it's been a struggle for the GOAT this time. But he'll be back soon, I know. Even though he's aging, many players are aging now, but they'll be back. It's not yet the end of their season. They will still continue. But Karim Adeyemi, a young, prolific winger, could be going to Dortmund after this season. We may never know. Also, there are a lot of players now in Germany that are striving for the best, so we may never know what will happen next for them. Especially of coming back. Speaking of coming back, Alphonso Davies, who has been a road runner for the last 2 seasons for FC Bayern, has been left out with heart issues because of COVID issues too. So after that, he will be returning this week in the Bundesliga for FC Bayern. I'm just glad he's back. I mean, he's the road runner. He's so fast. A Canadian born. He just, I watched his story since he was still playing for Vancouver. What a story. I mean, from the MLS, from Canada, now in the biggest stage, and he also won the European Champions League already. So, what a story. I will never forget his campaign in 2020, where he just demolished Barcelona. Let's now go to my very own Liverpool versus Inter Milan. What a fixture, but we lost 0-1, but it didn't matter because on aggregate, we still progressed to the round of 8. Speaking of round of 8, Liverpool's title race is heating up as we are now only 1 point away from Manchester City. Just remember, guys, in January, when the Premier League began and the transfer window closed, we were 13 points behind Manchester City. Now only 1. Nice. What a team effort, the resilience, and the versatility to come back and mount it, especially a Manchester City team is composed of very, very good players, especially a very, very clever manager in Pep Guardiola. Hopefully, if we win all games, we can win the Premier League. But the bad news is we have to play at the Etihad. That is the worst part. We can't lose focus now because in those fixtures, there will be a round of 8 fixture. Whoever will it be among all those teams, will it be Bayern, will it be Manchester City? Yes, we can face also Manchester City at the round of 8. Can it be Real Madrid? Hopefully not Real Madrid. Can it be Benfica? Maybe. Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, or Chelsea? Yes, we can all face the two Premier League teams in the round of 8. I hope it doesn't disappoint. Yes. What about, can we win the Champions League? Of course, the Premier League is a prestigious award, but can we win the Champions League? That's a story we have to discuss further into our podcast, so stay tuned for that. What about Inter's future? Well, they're also on the race like Liverpool, but their race is heating up in a 3-horse-legged race in Napoli, Inter, and AC Milan. Hopefully, they get the better because they're the defending champion. Let's now go on to bigger things in Manchester City versus Sporting, where that ended in a draw but ended in 5-0 on aggregate. So, what about Erling Haaland? Remember, Manchester City is playing without a center forward, a striker. Their center forward is Phil Foden, who's a midfielder. But remember the Manchester City misses against Crystal Palace, where it ended 0-0, that gave us the chance to mount a comeback to make it 1 point. Hopefully Haaland chooses what's best for him. I don't know what's best for him, but he knows what's best for him. I don't think that Man City would be best for him at this moment. It's up to him. He will be headlining the news as the days, the months, and as the season ends. He will choose a team. He has to choose a team. And I think there's no chance of him staying at Dortmund right now. He needs to have bigger things in the future. Yes, he needs a bigger club, a club that can support his dreams of winning something big like the Ballon d'Or, the Champions League, or like the Premier League or the La Liga. Sporting put up a good show the second half of the tie, but it still ended 5-0. The damage has been done. So Manchester City did a job well done. Congratulations, Man City. And hopefully it will be a good race between you and Liverpool. Guardiola says that the Liverpool is the toughest opponent he's faced. Yes, maybe. If we win the Premier League, yes, it will be. But now it's already been started. So let's now, guys, go to Real Madrid versus PSG. This, out of all the fixtures, this has to stand out the most. You know why? You know what happened. Let me break it down for you, guys. Benzema and Modric turned back the clock. All of them are 30 plus years old. They had a GOAT performance for the ages. Just imagine, Karim Benzema, 34 years old, Modric, 36 years old, and still playing at the top of their games. They're just like they're like 25 or 27. I don't know, but they both killed PSG. As a PSG fan, I have nothing but respect for them, for the whole club of Real Madrid. Since the Ronaldo's departure, they've been struggling a little bit, but since they appointed Zidane and now Zidane left to Ancelotti, they've been on a groove, especially that they will be facing FC Barcelona on March 21st. What a tie that will be. Real Kings of Europe, but can they win the Champions League? Yes. Of course, when you win a round of 16, you have one goal in your mind, and that is to win the Champions League at the end of May. The problem is, can they stay positive and win it all? Especially all the teams that are eyeing for the Champions League are very, very good teams from other countries. Mbappe to Real. It's a done deal? Maybe, but since Mbappe killed Real Madrid at the first leg and also scored at the Bernabeu, I just think that maybe it's time for Mbappe to move on, because it's not just good for him to stay at PSG at this stage. Yes, as a PSG fan, I have to say, pack your bags up, go to Real, thank you for what you've done for PSG, man. It's the best choice you can take right now. You deserve more. You deserve to win everything. With your talent, your skill, everything. Good luck, Mbappe, in the future. What about, guys? Speaking of departure, since Messi left FC Barcelona, went to Paris, but it didn't end well for him at the Bernabeu in Spain. But when they returned back into League One against Bordeaux, I just didn't like the fans booing Neymar and Messi and Mbappe and some of the players. For me, that was just too much. I mean, they're just human beings. They make mistakes, even though they made a lot in football. They made a lot of people proud. They had a lot of achievements. They're still human beings. They feel emotions. They still have that emotion that wants them to keep fighting, but just couldn't handle it on pressures like this. For me, that was too much, PSG fans. You shouldn't be doing those things, especially at the game was its highest. I mean, just respect Real Madrid for what they've done. I have nothing but respect. Yes, we can call it a foul on Benzema against Donnarumma, but the way they responded after that goal, and especially in the second half, was just astonishing. And just PSG just couldn't find their groove in midfield, especially in the midfield area. What were they doing? I mean, I saw the game. I saw a lot of unpleasant formation. I don't know if it was Pochettino's command or something else, but there's been rumors that he's going to be sacked at the end of the season, but who may knows. But I think give him one more season or one more half season maybe to turn it around. But next time, when players lose big games, especially they have already established their names in Europe, please don't boo them. Don't boo them. Don't criticize them on social media. Don't ever put shame on their name, because both Messi and Neymar are bigger than our club. Just remember, they've won the Champions League many times, especially Messi. So in my opinion, just let it all out. Congratulations, Real Madrid. We move on to bigger things in football, right? Yeah, that's right. We move on to bigger, and a big upset for Ajax and Benfica. As Benfica, out of all these ties, Ajax and Benfica has to be one of the most underdog stories, because Ajax, remember, had an underdog story at the group stage without defeats, a 0 defeat for them, remember, and Benfica just ended their hopes with a late goal. Ouch. Can Benfica's Cinderella story continues? We may never know. They're the only Portuguese side at Champions League. Hopefully they'll get it too. Did Ajax underestimate Benfica too much? I don't know, but I just think that Ajax just didn't do enough at the second leg. That's it. What about Mazraoui to Barcelona? A young talent to Barcelona, an Ajax product alongside Frankie de Jong, a former Ajax graduate too. Is he on the move this season? At the end of the season? We may never know. That's just a transfer rumor. Now, this is it, guys. A fixture that I really want to talk about to you guys. Man United versus Atletico de Madrid. Since Ronaldo was playing in Spain, he played Real Atletico Madrid and Diego Simeone's side a lot of times. We have seen a lot of goals from Ronaldo crushing that team. And Diego Simeone even said, without Ronaldo, if Ronaldo wasn't a footballer or wasn't alive, he could have had 3 Champions League. And in my opinion, it's true, because Ronaldo is the reason why they're now winning the Champions League. How can you stop Ronaldo in his prime? Respect to that man. But since then, Man United has been struggling. Yes, they're out of the Champions League. Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, and they're also out of the Premier League race, title race. They had a lot of expectations since Ronaldo came in, and it's just sad for them to be, fighting for the top four place only in Europe. But since then, it's always a sad ending. But hopefully they could bounce back soon. Out of all the misery that Man United has been facing, there's one man who's been bullied and being said that not able to defend properly, and that is Harry Maguire. No offense to Harry Maguire, but he was great at the World Cup in 2018 and also at the Euro 2020. But is he really the problem in Man United's hindering for success this season? I've seen him play live in television, but I just couldn't think for a more complicated way to say this. But the amount of 80 million to spend in a player like this shouldn't be accepted. I mean, 80 million is too much. For me, it's really too much. I mean, for a defender who's not, I think he was well known when he was, scouted by Man United at that time, but he was playing good minutes for Leicester. But the position he's playing in Manchester United, for me, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, it's really different in the position he's playing under Leicester. You watch all the games. I've seen him struggle, but when he was in Leicester, he was just different. He was just in a different position. Yes, he was a defender. I mean by position, the way he defends the ball. They had good midfielders in Leicester City. He was just a fullback that could clear the ball but not bring the ball more into the opponent's half. That's what I think. I don't know. Maybe the coach's problem? Is Ralph really the problem, or Maguire? Ralph Rangnick, I mean. Will we see him again next season? And I think no. If Manchester United really needs change, they need to sign a world-class manager who can establish their team. And in my opinion, before managers could manage clubs, they must look at the team's success and formation. You just can't sign a manager like, I'll sign this manager because he was good at this club. No. Sign him because he already knows how the play style works, he knows how the player works in each position, and sign him. And you can have a very good season. That's it. Just like Sir Alex Ferguson. Speaking of Sir Alex Ferguson, he's been watching many games at Old Trafford. But the saddening news is that at the Theatre of Dreams, where Sir Alex Ferguson won a lot of trophies, won many domestic leagues, league cups, and many emotional games, it's gonna be destroyed. Rumors said that it's already too old for our stadiums right now. It's not anymore innovative. I don't know. Why do you need to change a stadium where financially you've spent a lot of money in your players and still be trophyless for 5 years? I mean, for me, for Man United, for all the Man United supporters out there, I think you shouldn't be paying attention to that new stadium that you're about to build. Focus more on your players and development, because you need a good player and a good club. You deserve to be at the top 3, top 4 next season. And if you don't make it the top 4 this season, at least win the Europa League next season. That would, I think, lighten up a bit. But for now, Old Trafford needs to be there. It's a very prestigious historical place for football stadiums. And I don't care if it's old, vintage, or whatever you say, it's not anymore the trend in stadiums. Just because you can't have a show of the NFL or like any concerts there, just doesn't mean you have to bar it down and create a new one. Just make it simple. Just have it renovated and just keep it simple. But speaking of bad season and a very bad finish for the season for Man United, one of their players has been racially abused on social media. This is it, guys. Marcus Rashford was upset that he received a lot of abuse on social media. Where am I gonna start this? Marcus Rashford is a good player, a top world-class player. What I've said into Messi and Neymar, he is also a world-class talent, but he shouldn't be booed, racially abused on social media. Social media is used for information and news, just like this podcast. There's no need to racially abuse someone who's not performing at the top of the game. I mean, that's unexcusable. Don't call yourself a fan of the game if you do that. That threats to any player who just couldn't reach your expectations. You have to shut up because they're playing for your club. Yes, you pay them. They get money from you for watching games. But that's more than sports. It's more than life. Yes, it's beyond life. It's more than just passion for the game. But this is just too much. I know Rashford has been struggling, but you don't know what he's been through the past season. And for me, yes, he's having a bad season, and for that I criticize him, but racially abusing someone on social media is just way too much. It's offending the rules. Hopefully Rashford can silence his haters, especially Man United fans. I mean, what you've done to Diego Simeone, just throwing beers, throwing beverages at him, that's not sportsmanship at all. That's not football. Football, I know, it's more than sport. It's more than just kicking a ball to the goal. It's just making friends and having, as a community a whole, into one, you know. It's just sad to see things like this in football. Football wasn't created for this mess. It's created for the fans, for all of us to enjoy, and for us to be enlightened, not to be abused. Speaking of being abused, also Ronaldo has been being abused and also a bit of emotional praise, especially when he scored a hat-trick against Tottenham, you know, and Tom Brady came back from retirement. Oh my goodness, what a story in sports. Tom Brady said, let me get this one season still. If Ronaldo can do it, I can do it better. Yes, Tom Brady, the GOAT in NFL, is back. He's packing his bags up and he's going to be back in the Buccaneers. Yeah, I think that's right. That's his team in NFL. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think. Yes. But he's a legend in the Dallas. I think it was in Dallas team. I forgot his team in NFL. Oh my goodness, I forgot Tom Brady's team in the NFL. Yeah, speaking of GOAT, let's go to our GOAT in football, Ronaldo. There's two GOATs, remember. The other one is also in Paris. Ronaldo, is it a return for him in Real? There's rumors that he doesn't want to continue his playing years in Man United. But in my opinion, he needs to leave. Yeah, that's it. That's the bottom line. He can't stay in this kind of environment. He needs to leave. I think Real would be the best. But with the rising young star in Vinicius and also Mbappe coming in, I think it's gonna be hard for Real to go back. Maybe PSG, please give us a Ronaldo Messi reunion. We need it. Yes, so that's it. That's your headline for Man United and Atletico Madrid. Let's now go to Juve versus Real, the former team of a GOAT player in Ronaldo. His former team, Juve, has been knocked out of the Champions League again. in the round of 16. Oh my God, Juve has been struggling. I mean, after reaching the final in 2015, reaching the final in 2017, and inching closer to the Champions League, I just feel bad for them, and also for Buffon at that time for losing the two Champions League. But they lost to a great club in Barcelona and Real Madrid. I don't know what's the problem with Juve against Spanish giants. Juve's straight round of 16 loss has been a disaster, and again for them in the Champions League, not only in the Champions League but also in the Serie A. Yes, they're not anymore in the race, but they could be in the top four, or again another spot in the Champions League next season. Remember the Super League, guys, where I think it was going to be formed, and then the fans, including me, hated it because it would ruin sports, because they're creating it for money purposes. Did you know that Juventus owner, I forgot the name, is the mastermind and said that other teams in Europe cannot anymore compete with Juve? Well, now what? Now what? Villarreal just kicked your players out of it. I mean, bye-bye. The yellow submarine just sunk your boat out of the water. But let's now go to Villarreal. They're having a good season. Of course, a lot of teams are battling on La Liga, but they can have a Cinderella story. I think they can reach the semifinals if they could just believe in them. And so, yeah, maybe I think Villarreal could have something in the future. Hopefully. Speaking of a happy future, Lille versus Chelsea turned out to be in Chelsea's favor, but Chelsea Football Club has been suffering a lot lately, especially the rumors of them being sanctioned by the UK government because of strong connections of Roman Abramovich and Vladimir Putin. Of course, what's happening in Ukraine versus Russia. But I really hope that it turns out to be good. Chelsea could finish the season because financially they've been struggling. Rumors said that they're not gonna be any more players signing them on their on their team. I mean, on their club. They have 3 players: Andre Christensen, Cesar Azpilicueta, and Tony Rudiger. All of those players have been key for them in the Champions League triumph last season. I just don't know what's next for them. Hopefully they stay, but I've been told and rumored that Andre Christensen has already agreed with Barcelona at the end of the season. The Danish international could be packing his bag and going to Barcelona at the end of the season, but we may never know. If Chelsea still has sanctions by the UK government, it will continue, then maybe they will not anymore be at the Premier League next season. That's only the rumor, but I hope it's not true, because they're still a great football club. Havertz, Mount, and other Chelsea players are stepping up. Even though in the tough times, they still has the courage, especially young at their age. They're already stepping up as captains for their team. They've been dragging Chelsea into triumph this season, not only the Premier League, but in the Champions League. For you guys, how do you see Chelsea's future? Well, for me, if this continues, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, I'd say they will end it in a high note still. In terms of performance, they could still finish the season strong. They're third in the Premier League and a high chance of reaching the final again. But is it? If the club isn't allowed to be sold to any billionaire out there, because there are a lot of billionaires aiming, especially Conor McGregor wants to buy Chelsea. It's just whoever buys it, or whoever Roman sold it to, I hope you take good care of Chelsea like Roman did, because this club has already stayed at the Premier League at the highest level, especially in the late 2000s era. So hopefully Chelsea would end the season good, and hopefully their new owners could take good care of them. So guys, another end to my podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Wow, it took 30 minutes and I'm sweating. I know I've discussed all the teams, but I have not yet received which teams are gonna be battling it out. Well, of course, the teams are Bayern, Liverpool, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Benfica, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, and Chelsea. They all are capable of winning, but only one trophy is going to be awarded. So who's it gonna be? Guys, another end to my podcast. I'm gonna close it. So guys, thank you once again for the support. I hope you had a good time. Yeah, thank you once again. I've been enjoying my podcast lately, even though it's been a harsh time in academics and in other parts of our life. So I just hope you're doing good. I hope, yeah, that's it. I just hope you're doing good in life, because that's important. Always smile, always have a positive energy in you. So guys, that's it. As I say, thank you so much for the love. It's already my podcast third time, third day in my podcast life career. So yeah, thank you guys. So if you like, you can like, share, comment anything you want. If you know about football, you can comment anything down below. I'm gonna be posting this on Facebook and on YouTube. And yes, thank you guys. Bye.